I got my MBA with honors in just 6 weeks. In this video, I want to share what I learned so that you can do the same. Right in the beginning of the degree, they'll have you create your course plan where you map out what semester you're going to be taking each of the courses. The second I submitted it, I got an email from my counselor. She said that she deleted my entire thing that I had just spent the past hour on and wanted to have a conversation. So I made it my goal to get through as much of those courses as possible before we had that conversation. My first piece of advice is to speed run the degree and master the capstone. Speed running a degree is hard and most people won't understand why you're doing it. So it's important that you have a solid motivation to keep you on track. Think about why you want your MBA. And once you've got a solid reason, put it down in the comments. I'm sure that somebody else will be encouraged. Okay, so I finally got access to my courses. It is the second, so one day off track already. Let's go ahead and open these courses. Now, the first course, Managing Human Capital, was super easy. 2 essays and then you're done. Okay, so I want to show you my setup real quick. So we've got the rubric essay over here, any resources, also the Reddit posts on how to speedrun this. For these essays and all the essays in all of the courses, make sure that you're writing exactly to the rubric. Treat each category of the rubric like a checklist and make sure that you're going line by line and answering every question that they might have. If you're really motivated and you type fast, you can finish this course easily in a day. That'll lead you into your next course, Managing Organizations and People. Okay, so day 2, course number 2 and 3, trying to do 2 courses in one day. One of them has an exam, and so that's the one that we're starting right now. And the other one is 3 different essays. So let's see how far we can get. I took the pre-test immediately and passed, which leads me into my second point. Before you touch any of the course assignments or readings or resources, anything, take the pretest. See where you're at. You may surprise yourself. Let's go! I passed. I freaking passed. Now the real question is, should I study for the real exam or should I just send it? This course is especially easy. The hardest part about it is convincing yourself that you're ready to take the exam without weeks of preparation. It's a really bizarre feeling to go into a test unprepared. But one thing that really helped me is reminding myself that it's not my job to determine if I'm ready to pass the class. My job is to take the exam and find out where I'm at. Okay, so I just finished my first test. Let's hope that we pass. Let's go! So I spent way too much time studying on this, but passed everything. Okay, 2 courses down in 3 days. I got 1 more. Hopefully I can finish it before my meeting with my mentor today, and I'll knock her socks off. This is a special course that's only part of the MBA of IT Management. It was really exciting because I found most of the information very relevant to what I do on a day-to-day. It actually tied in a lot of the Scrum Master principles that I learned in this video. My biggest piece of advice for this course is to make sure you're following the tutorials for each of the assignments perfectly. Don't get cheeky like me and think you know how to do something and use a different tool only to find out 6 hours later that you basically wasted a whole day and can't submit one of the required items. I wouldn't say it's a difficult course, but there is a lot to it. But if you're in the IT field, it is very, very relevant to what you'll be doing on a day-to-day. If you follow the rubrics and tutorials, don't run into any huge problems, you'll be able to complete it pretty easily in 2 days. With those 3 courses out of the way, it was time to meet with my counselor. And it actually went really well. She was super excited at the progress that I had made. I thought it was gonna go way worse, but she said that the best she could do was to open up 1 or 2 courses at a time and let me quickly work through them. She did warn me that the courses only get harder from here and that accounting, finance, and data-driven decision-making were especially difficult for people on my track. I took 9 days off because my family came to visit. During this time, I resubmitted some old assignments, but most of all, it was a nice break to kind of refresh. And I think that's one of the great things about accelerating, is you can take breaks like this without throwing off your timeline. After 9 days of fun, I enrolled in accounting and went straight for the pretest. So I did not pass my assessment. The worst part about all this is I didn't pass any of the sections. So it looks like I'm gonna be studying everything. I'd actually recommend not doing that. I'd recommend going through a little bit of the introduction and then diving into the 3 financial statements. And that should be enough to get you through the exam. So depending on what your exposure is to business and accounting, this could be a really difficult class, but don't let that stop you from accelerating. I went ahead and just scheduled my exam for tomorrow, not because I'm ready, but because I'm sick of studying this stuff and I need to be done with it. Hopefully I pass on the first time. Eventually I passed the exam and I was ready to move on to marketing. This is the first course where you actually get to choose your own topic. And the biggest piece of advice I can give you for this is to choose a real world example. That gives you another item for your resume that you can use to network with organizations, but also to show off when you're ready to look for a better job. The other benefit is that someone else is giving you all the content, all the material, and all the resources you need to write your assignment. They practically write it for you. One thing that I've never heard anyone talk about is how to write essays quickly. Here was the method that I built for writing multi-page essays in a matter of a few hours. First off, I have a template that I use for every assignment. What I would move on into doing is creating sections based on the rubric. And then I would add the rubric criteria into a comment. So when I click on reporting requirements, I can see exactly what they're looking for. The final thing is using the citation manager. The easiest way to do that is to go into tools, click citations, and you'll get the citation manager over here. So here's the coolest thing about it. So let's say I'm quoting something from Target. I can enter the quote, and then all I do is click cite, and it'll cite that. The other huge benefit is that you can access it from any device. And since it's all on one screen, everything transfers over perfect. Then at the end of the essay, click insert references, and everything is automatically sorted so you can just submit that essay and move on to the next thing. Passing this course meant it was time to move into finance. I'd actually recommend not doing it that way. I'd recommend right when you finish accounting, move straight into finance. Even though I studied all that accounting, I still failed the pretest for finance. But this gave me a huge opportunity to discover something that changed the game, the course resources tab. I don't know how I made it through this much of the course without discovering this. They have boot camps, practice problems. They have tutorials walking you through all those practice problems. I really don't know how I made it that far without discovering this page. Using these resources, I scheduled my exam for the next day and was able to pass. When I talked with my counselor, she said she was going to give me a break and enrolled me in ethical leadership. And she was right. This course is very easy. Make sure you do the ethical lens test for the first assignment and you can bust out all 3 in a day. Even though I pushed through the assignments pretty quickly, I got an email a little while later that notified me that I won an excellence award for one of my assignments. What I did realize that changed the game was that you can earn excellence awards for your Capstone and Capstone simulator. And I made it my goal from then on to earn all 3 of these awards. But before I can do that, I have the 3 hardest courses left. Let's start with IT Strategic Solution. My advice would be to start with this course as soon as you can. The reason is because you can't start the next assignment until you've passed the previous one. What I'd recommend doing is taking one of these assignments and then moving on to another course, like data-driven decision making, while you're waiting for that one to be graded. Hey, it's Future Editing Holt, and I realized I forgot to mention one of the most important things about this course, which is that this course is probably your biggest opportunity to network and to add value to other organizations. I used this project to learn more about an AI startup that I was really interested in, and actually gave the product to them as their first round of technical documentation. My brother used this to network with some crypto startups that he was interested in, and he was able to provide some awesome value while building out his network in something he was interested in. So let's talk data-driven decision making. I think there's a lot of really bad intel about this course. It is the only course that has an exam and assignments. But there are so many resources in the course resources page that explain exactly what you need to do for each of the assignments. Within 4 hours of enrolling in the course, I had already passed the final exam. I think that taking the exam before doing the assignments actually helped me a lot with not developing tunnel vision. But that still left the 3 assignments, and these took a long time to get through. If you do everything right, you can definitely complete this in a day, although it took me 3 submissions for both assignment 1 and assignment 2, so that's on me. That left just one more course between me and Capstone. Now, I talked with my brother about this, and he said it was actually a very easy class. I disagree. For me, economics was the least intuitive of all the courses. I think a lot of this course just depends on how much you know and where your interests lie. I horribly failed the first exam and gave myself 2 days to go through all the boot camps. Even so, within a couple days, I had passed the exam. I took a 10-day break for a family emergency, and then I was ready to move into the Capstone. This is a really fun course. I really enjoyed it. I also took a lot more time on this course than any of the others because I wanted to get those excellence awards. If you're interested in how I did that, check out this video. Since posting that video, I actually sent it to my brother, and he used it to also get top 10 globally on the Capstone simulation. So I just submitted assignment 2, and it's been really discouraging because I thought that I went beast mode on the first assignment, and I haven't heard anything about an award. Kind of sucks because I feel like I gave it my all, and it's hard to know that your best wasn't up to their standards. If you're like me and you're disappointed, there is hope. It turns out that the MBA Capstone Award has a board that only meets once per month, so it may take a while for you to actually be recognized with this. It took a few weeks before I got notified that I had earned the Capstone Excellence Award, and a few weeks after that, I got something else in the mail.
Oh, that sound.
Crisp. That's my MBA.
You're cool. You got a piece of paper. Well, see ya.
I'm so grateful for this experience, and I hope that this video becomes a resource for others to get their MBAs. If you watch this whole video and you still have questions, go ahead and put those down in the comments, and I will be more than happy to answer them. And when you're ready to master your capstone, go ahead and watch this video. Thanks for watching.